What's good, people? We got a heavy topic to dive into today, and it involves a familiar face from one of the biggest YouTube channels out there. I'm talking about Ava Chris Tyson, a member of the MrBeast crew who's recently found himself in some hot water. Now, if you don't know, MrBeast is known for his wild videos and crazy giveaways, but today we're focusing on one of his own team members and some serious allegations that have surfaced. It's time to uncover the truth and figure out what's really going on. So without further ado, let's get into the shocking details and see if these claims hold any weight. Ava Chris Tyson, a name that might ring a bell if you're a fan of MrBeast, has recently come under fire for some disturbing reasons. Allegations have surfaced suggesting that Ava has a peculiar and inappropriate interest in certain types of artwork, and it's not just your average art form we're talking about here. It seems Ava has a thing for explicit and questionable content, and not just as a passive observer, but as an active supporter and promoter. This situation has raised a lot of red flags, and we're here to dissect it and understand the potential implications. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of these allegations. Ava Chris Tyson, a familiar face on the MrBeast channel, has been accused of having a rather disturbing fascination with explicit artwork. And when I say explicit, I mean it involves subjects that are most definitely off limits. We're talking about artwork that sexualizes minors, people. This ain't your average art exhibition. This is some disturbing stuff. Not only has Ava allegedly shown an interest in this type of content, but there's also evidence suggesting he's interacted with the artists and even purchased their work. This situation has sparked outrage and concern, and rightfully so. The allegations against Ava Chris Tyson are concerning, to say the least. It's not just about having a different taste in art. It's about potentially endangering and exploiting minors. As a public figure, especially one associated with a massive channel like MrBeast, Ava has a responsibility to conduct himself in a way that doesn't cause harm or promote inappropriate behavior. These allegations, if true, indicate a serious lapse in judgment and a disregard for the well-being of others. It's important to approach this topic with sensitivity, but also with a commitment to seeking the truth and holding people accountable for their actions. So how did all this come to light, you ask? Well, it started with a fellow YouTuber by the name of Prism42. This dude did some serious detective work and dropped a video exposing Ava's questionable Twitter interactions. Now, gotta be clear, I don't agree with all the speculations Prism42 made, but he definitely uncovered some solid evidence that can't be ignored. In his video, he presented a pattern of behavior from Ava, showing multiple instances of him interacting with disturbing content and expressing support for artists who create it. This ain't your average Twitter banter, this is some disturbing stuff that needs to be addressed. The video by Prism42 played a crucial role in bringing these allegations to light. It showcased a side of Ava that many fans weren't aware of. While online behavior can often be dismissed as trolling or harmless jokes, the extent of Ava's interactions and his apparent admiration for explicit artists suggest a deeper issue. The video prompted a much-needed discussion about boundaries, consent, and the potential risks associated with this type of content. It's important to recognize that the internet isn't a lawless space, and actions online can have very real consequences, especially when they involve the exploitation or endangerment of others. Now, let's talk about this artist that Ava seems to be a fan of. This guy, who I won't name directly, but let's just say he's built a reputation for himself, is known for creating explicit artwork. And when I say explicit, I mean he doesn't hold back. He draws popular characters, but he also takes it a step further by drawing real people, including minors, in compromising and disturbing situations. This artist has gained infamy for his controversial style, and Ava, our boy, was out here supporting him, retweeting his work, and even purchasing prints. The artist in question has gained notoriety within certain online circles for his explicit and often disturbing artwork. He pushes boundaries, not only by drawing fictional characters, but by crossing the line into depicting real individuals, including minors, in a sexualized manner. This artist's work has sparked debates about the limits of artistic expression and the potential harm it can cause. By associating himself with this artist, Ava has aligned himself with a community that many consider unethical and dangerous. It raises questions about Ava's judgment and his understanding of the potential consequences of his actions. Let's dive into some of these tweets and interactions because they're pretty eye-opening. We got instances where Ava is responding to artwork of cartoon characters like Caillou, a 4-year-old, and instead of being disgusted or appalled, he tweets, "Help, I need an adult." Wait, what? That's not a normal reaction, my guy. There's also a joke he made about Dipper and Mabel from Gravity Falls Twins, where he basically makes a joke about self-play. It gets even more disturbing, boys. The tweets and interactions uncovered provide a disturbing glimpse into Ava's interest and sense of humor. By responding positively or making light of explicit artwork involving minors, Ava has crossed the line. These are not isolated incidents, but a pattern of behavior that indicates a deeper issue. Each tweet serves as a piece of evidence, showcasing a lack of judgment and a disregard for appropriate boundaries. They raise questions about Ava's motivations and his understanding of the potential impact of his actions on impressionable fans and the subjects of the artwork themselves. Now, one of the most damning pieces of evidence is a tweet where Ava straight up shows off a print he bought from this explicit artist, and guess what? It depicts a child. But here's the kicker. He has it displayed as a centerpiece in his living room. Like, what healthy adult does that? If my boys came over and saw that, they'd be like, "Yo, that's not cool, bruh." This ain't about being edgy, it's about having basic respect for boundaries and the well-being of others. The centerpiece tweet is particularly concerning as it indicates Ava's pride and admiration for the artist's work. By displaying it prominently in his living room, he's essentially endorsing the artist's explicit content, which includes the sexualization of minors. This action suggests a lack of awareness or disregard for the potential impact of his choices. It also raises questions about the judgment of the MrBeast crew, who filmed in his house and seemingly did not find this display concerning enough to address. Here's the thing, bro. Ava wasn't a clueless teenager when he was doing all this. These tweets and interactions happened when he was a grown man in his 20s. This wasn't a phase or some dumb stuff kids say online. As an adult, he should have known better than to engage with and promote this type of content. It's not about being edgy or pushing boundaries, it's about understanding the potential harm his actions could cause. We're talking about the potential exploitation and endangerment of minors here, and that's something we can't take lightly. The fact that Ava engaged in this behavior as an adult adds a layer of concern. It indicates a deeper issue that can't be dismissed as youthful immaturity or a lack of understanding. As adults, we have a responsibility to conduct ourselves in a way that doesn't cause harm, especially to vulnerable individuals. By ignoring the red flags and continuing to engage with explicit content involving minors, Ava has potentially endangered others and promoted a culture that disregards consent and healthy boundaries. When you see red flags, you can't just ignore them, and this situation has more red flags than a parade. It's not just about Ava's questionable taste in art, it's about the potential risks and harm his actions could inflict on others. We're talking about the sexualization and exploitation of minors, which is downright dangerous. This situation demands serious conversations and interventions to ensure the safety and well-being of young people, both online and offline. The implications of Ava's actions reach far beyond his personal preferences. By promoting and supporting explicit artwork involving minors, he has potentially contributed to a culture that endangers and exploits them. It raises questions about consent, boundaries, and the responsibility of content creators and influencers. The potential harm extends not only to the subjects of the artwork, but also to impressionable fans who may be influenced by Ava's behavior. It's crucial to address these issues to prevent further harm and to promote a healthier online environment. Now, here's where it gets even more complicated. The MrBeast crew, these are Ava's friends and colleagues. They must have known about this, right? I mean, they filmed in his house and this questionable artwork was just hanging there for all to see. So either they turned a blind eye or they simply didn't care enough to address it. That's a major issue, fam. If you see something, you gotta say something, especially when it involves the potential harm of young people. The involvement of the MrBeast crew adds another layer of concern. As colleagues and friends, they had a responsibility to hold each other accountable. By ignoring or dismissing Ava's behavior, they potentially enabled it. This situation calls into question their judgment and commitment to creating a safe and ethical work environment. It's important for content creators, especially those with a massive influence like MrBeast, to foster a culture of accountability and ensure that their team members conduct themselves appropriately, both on and off the camera. This situation doesn't just reflect on Ava, it also raises questions about the entire MrBeast brand. With their massive following and influence, they have a responsibility to address this promptly and transparently. Their silence or dismissal of these allegations could send the wrong message to their audience, potentially enabling similar behavior. It's crucial for them to step up, show accountability, and take proactive measures to prevent similar incidents in the future. The impact of these allegations on the MrBeast channel cannot be understated. As a popular and influential brand, they have a responsibility to their audience to address the situation with sincerity. Their response will shape how their fans perceive these issues and potentially influence their own behavior. By staying silent or downplaying the allegations, they risk losing the trust of their followers and enabling a culture that disregards the well-being of minors. Separate from the artwork stuff, there's also talk about Ava allegedly entertaining an inappropriate relationship with a minor. Now, this part is complicated because we got denial and claims of grooming involved. It's a sensitive topic and we gotta respect the individuals involved. But it further emphasizes the need for accountability and awareness. The allegations of an inappropriate relationship with a minor add another layer of complexity to this situation. Grooming and manipulation are serious issues that require a careful approach. While the other individual has denied any wrongdoing, it's important to recognize that these situations are often complicated and require a thorough investigation. It's crucial to approach this aspect with sensitivity, respecting the privacy of those involved while still holding people accountable for their actions. The person allegedly involved in this relationship has come forward, denying any misconduct and requesting privacy. Now, this could be a genuine statement or it could be a result of grooming or manipulation. We can't jump to conclusions, but it does add a layer of complexity. It's a reminder that these situations are rarely straightforward. and that we need to approach them with empathy and a commitment to seeking the truth. The denial and complications surrounding the alleged relationship highlight the nuanced nature of these situations. It's important to recognize that not all cases of grooming or inappropriate relationships are black and white. By addressing this aspect, we emphasize the need for thorough investigations, sensitivity, and respect for the individuals involved. It's a reminder that consent and boundaries are essential regardless of the circumstances. MrBeast and his crew can't just sweep this under the rug and pretend it never happened. Their silence will only fuel more speculation and potentially enable harmful behavior. They need to address this head-on, show accountability, and take proactive steps to prevent similar incidents in the future. It's about doing what's right, even if it's uncomfortable. The only way forward for the MrBeast crew is to address this situation directly and transparently. By remaining silent, they risk being complicit in harmful behavior. It's important for them to demonstrate accountability not only to their audience, but also to themselves and the individuals potentially affected by Ava's actions. Their response will shape how they are perceived and set a precedent for how similar situations should be handled in the future. Ava bro, it's time to step up and address this mess. You owe it to yourself, to the MrBeast crew, and most importantly, to anyone potentially harmed by your actions. Own up, explain yourself, and take responsibility. It's the only way to start rebuilding trust and ensuring this doesn't happen again. Ava Chris Tyson has a responsibility to address these allegations and provide clarity. By doing so, he can take the first steps toward accountability and repairing the damage caused. It's important for him to recognize the potential harm his actions may have inflicted and to commit to making amends. This includes seeking professional help if necessary and using his platform to promote healthy boundaries and consent. Alright boys, we've reached the end of this deep dive into the shocking truth about Ava Chris Tyson and his questionable behavior. It's up to you to form your own opinions, but we can all agree that holding content creators accountable is crucial, especially when their actions have the potential to harm others. Let's continue these conversations, promote healthy boundaries, and foster a safer and more respectful online environment for everyone. Peace out and stay tuned.